What's up, everybody? The Acolyte has finally come to an end, or at least this season of the show has, and there will, of course, be spoilers for the finale here in my breakdown, so you've been warned. Now let's get into it. This week's episode opened right where we left off last week, once again making me think this should have just been one big episode, but they need those subscribers. Anyway, Osha's got the helmet on, but then she starts freaking out and even gets into Kimir's mind, but he is able to fight through it and get the helmet off of her as she tells him she saw May killing a soul without a weapon, meaning she could still be his acolyte. On the flip side, though, Soul's taking May back to Brendok as we'll finish things where they started, but didn't start. I still think this story needed to be told chronologically. But May escapes the restraints on board the ship before they get there, and she takes the escape ship and goes. The space chase was pretty cool here, but everybody ends up going to Brendok anyway, so, like, what was the point of it? Then, back on Coruscant, Vernestra is busy playing politics, dealing with the senator who's portrayed by David Harewood. He's not Tenebrous, he's not Plagueis, which would have been cool, but this was still pretty cool as this senator was an absolute douche and he was so good in this role. He torches the Jedi, which I can't lie, was hilarious because I know I have admitted myself I do hate the Jedi too, even though they're the good guys. From there, we see Kimir and Osha depart for Brendok after Osha saw where Sol and her sister were. Kimir offers her one last chance to be trained and she denies it as they depart and the lanky hand of Darth Plagueis the Wise creeps out of the shadows in Kimir's cave, and I'll talk about that more in a separate video. I don't want to dive into that right now here in the finale. Just with the mood of my videos for this show, I want to be in a different space when I make a video on Plagueis, so that'll come later this week. But just quick immediate thoughts on it are he looked really fucking cool, and I'm still absolutely terrified of this creative team adapting him. Anyway, Vernestra is also heading to Brendok as Sol turned his beacon back on, and she wants this taken care of. We see Kimir and Osha arrive on the planet second, though, before the Jedi do, as Sol finds himself in the ruins of the temple, reliving the past as May gets in there the same way she got out when she fell as a kid. Kimir is pretty quick to find and engage Sol, though, so we got another epic fight here. There was some really good close quarters choreography here when they're inside, and then Kimir, he whips out the dual sabers outside, and it gets even better. But as that's happening, Osha finds May inside, and after Osha loses her mind, saying the same thing to her sister for like the fourth time, May tells her the truth. Sol killed their mother when she turned into a witch fart, and then those two fight, and we get a weird cut between the two fights. That's like it's a cool concept, but it was not done well. But it's a minor detail I'm nitpicking now. Anyway, Sol finally confesses after he breaks Kimir's saber in their fight, and this is what breaks Osha as she had grabbed Sol's saber, and we see her bleed his crystal, which was actually pretty cool to see in live action. She's fully fallen now at this point, and to become the acolyte or whatever, whether she knew it here or not, she kills Sol. Sol accepted his death there at the end too in his final moments, and then the three disappeared as the Jedi arrived inside the temple. The girls went their own way though as Kimir stuck around to see Vernestra, but he quickly finds them at their tree after that. Osha volunteers herself to become the acolyte, and so to avoid detection, Kimir is going to erase May's memory of both of them. And with this, I was really hoping they'd keep them apart after this, so Amandla Stenberg could focus on one performance and get that one good first before we go back to twins, but that hope was quickly lost as the Jedi arrest May and bring her to Coruscant. Once she's there, Vernestra brings her to her personal quarters and realizes that her memory, or her latest memory rather, is when she was 8 years old. But also, she makes the big reveal that Kimir was once her apprentice, which I wish I could care more about because I really do like Kimir, but it doesn't give me enough background on them to care about that at all. But she also ended up framing Sol so the Senate wouldn't investigate the Jedi deeper, and not just for these four murders. She tells them everything and frames him for everything. Finally, we close the episode with two shots I didn't like. The first was Osha and Kimir back on their unnamed planet as he walks up to her and grabs her hand, and this feels like Kylo and Rey all over again. I'm gonna scrape my eyeballs out. But the second one was Vernestra going to talk to Master Yoda after all of this, and again, I wish I could have gotten more excited about this because it's fucking Yoda, but this show just drained me. I don't know what else to say. At the end of the day, this was a decent finale. It wasn't nearly good enough to redeem this show or I guess season, but once again, it's like at least we at least we got the dope action scenes. I will say though, on that front, the saber choreography was much better than the hand-to-hand choreography here in the finale, and I'm not so sure how I feel about the slow motion, like the capture I have in this video of Cameo versus Soul going down. I really like that shot, but there are some other shots with it that I didn't really like. Like some of it worked for me, but some moments it just felt unnecessary, kind of like a second season does to me. Like I won't be mad or anything like that if it happens. I'm not gonna lose my mind, but I'd just rather it not happen. And if it does, I can only hope it gets better. And so that'll do it for my final breakdown for Star Wars: The Acolyte. As I said, a decent finale, but overall, this show was just not it. It wasn't the Sith show that we were promised, even, and that's really just where the problem started for it, and then they just kept on spiraling. Let me know what you thought of the finale and the show as a whole, though, down in the comments below, and make sure you have a great day.